Let's learn all about my new Mingling Daisies sweater. The Mingling Daisies sweater is inspired by my Mingling Daisies shawl. This was a beautiful semicircle shawl released last year, and I love semicircle shawl shaping and circular yoke shaping because you do all the increases in one row, and then you get rows and rows with easy knitting where you don't have to increase later until the next increase row. So you're gonna find several rows where you're just enjoying textures, different stitch patterns, so you don't have to think about the shaping and stitch patterns simultaneously. I just love that construction with my semicircular shawls and the Mingling Daisies circular yoke. So in this sweater, you're gonna find 3 different main stitch patterns, and they're all divided by easy garter stitch rounds. So it's a similar type of pattern collage like my Dustlin sweater or the Brie Ornate sweater that has these different collages of textured stitches. This is the Brie Ornate for brioche stitches and dip stitches. I love the Ornate collection of textures here. The difference between that one and the Mingling Daisies is this one's a little bit simpler, I think, with the broken ribbing texture, and you get to do a fun daisy stitch. If you haven't done this daisy stitch before, I put a link in the pattern on how to do it, but it's a way of knitting 3 stitches together. You're making this cluster of stitches that is staggered to make this little daisy stitch pattern texture. So I just love the spring summery effect that texture has. And the other fun texture is an eyelet stitch pattern. So there's going to be some negative space and drapey yarn overs in one of the stitch patterns. It's a mix between yarn overs and a little crisscross cable. So you get this beautiful trellis type of crossing effect. And I just love that drape and the openness it gives to the fabric for the Mingling Daisy sweater. So after you do a little cable cross, that little daisy stitch, every time you finish a stitch pattern, there's always a garter stitch break. So you do 2 ridges of garter stitch. So once you do that texture, you get to relax and do some easy relaxing rows. So Mingling Daisies sweater, it comes in 9 sizes, and I did the size 5, I believe, for mine. I usually knit size 5 in my patterns. It's about, sometimes it's between like a 48 or 50 inch chest circumference. So a lot of my sweaters I knit bigger than my actual chest circumference. I'm about 44 inches around in the chest. So I always make sure I choose a sweater that's a little bit bigger than my actual chest circumference, and then it's gonna fit with a nice relaxed effect. I'm wearing the avocado colorway. This is one of our new colorways from last year. It's a really vibrant, medium-toned green, the avocado color. It's a very spring, delicious shade, and I think it looks really good with our original green olive. So it's a similar, it has these golden undertones to the color, so it's a similar color category as green olive, but in a shade lighter. And if you want to go even lighter or brighter, you could go towards the yellows. Oh, I think the Mingling Daisies would be beautiful in buttercup for a soft, dusty butter yellow, or you could go really bold with the Bianca colorway, and that would just be like a ray of sunshine in the Mingling Daisies sweater. So DK weight yarn is what you're going to be looking for the Mingling Daisies. Anywhere, maybe 5 skeins will be good for those smaller sizes. I usually get about 7 skeins to be safe for my big sizes, like sizes 5 and 6. So 7 skeins is going to give you a lot of options if you want to make the sleeves longer, the body a bit longer for those medium to larger sizes. But check out the yardage and the size requirements for the pattern and make sure you get the right number of skeins. If you're unsure of how many skeins to get, we've got all these kits prepared for you at Stephen and Penelope where you just select the size and then we choose the skeins for you to knit the size. So you just have to pick your color, pick your size, and we'll send you the yarn. And all of our kits will have our tandem, DK weight tandem. It's a non-superwash merino wool, my go-to sweater yarn, and I'm just so happy I get to wear this avocado colorway. As soon as we got this in, I've been in a real green mood. I knew this would make the most luscious top-down sweater. So Mingling Daisies sweater, the smaller size I have here in the pattern, this is in the sherbet colorway, and you can really see how those stitches pop in the lighter color. When I'm in doubt with color choosing, if I don't know which type of color I should choose for my next sweater, I usually tend towards the lighter and medium shades because I know that those are gonna make the stitches pop out a bit more. The darker colors are gonna soak in the light a little bit more and will be a little more subtle in texture. But that's something you can use to your advantage when choosing yarns. If you see a pattern where you think, ooh, there's a lot going on, I don't know if I want the textures to pop out so much, then choose a darker shade like Norway, and it will give a more subtle, subdued quality, a little bit more laid back feeling in the fabric, so it's a little bit more shadowy. But I like I like going for those light medium colors to get that pop out effect with the textures, and there's so much texture going on with the knits, pearls, garter stitch, broken ribbing, that staggered daisy stitch. You're gonna find a lot of fun textures in this to coordinate with that Mingling Daisies shawl. So I hope you love trying out this sweater and incorporating a little bit of an eyelet, peekaboo, see-through moment in your sweaters. It gives a really beautiful drape. So that's the Mingling Daisies sweater on Ravelry and Westknits.com. I'll link to that pattern down below, and all those kits that I was talking about will be at Stephen and Penelope in a rainbow of color choices. So let me know down below if you're gonna pick a color for your Mingling Daisies, if you're gonna go a bit more into the pinks, or are you gonna go into some gold sunshine colors, or keep it cool, calm, and collected with some neutrals or blue tones. So lots of color opportunities, and can't wait to see what you do with this sweater.